This is not a plot to take away everybody's guns. You pass a background check, you purchase a firearm.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to another edition of Crisis Corner. This is Freedom Faction, and I'm going to be talking about UWEX16, which is the continuation of Jade Helm 15. And what we saw prior to all the things that took place whenever Jade Helm was being set up, it was all the seed planting that they were trying to do. And I led in with the clip of Obama yesterday talking about how gun control, it's not a big deal for him. Getting your guns, he feels like it's very simple. If you're able to pass a background check, you're able to purchase a firearm. Now, I'm going to tie in a lot of this gun control and how the UN ties into this and all the other technological advances and streamlining things we're seeing as well. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Right now is actual footage that's been sent in from civilians who were able to whip out their phones right at the right time and actually document and get these military personnel, the military equipment, and all the other things that they have on camera. So you won't hear about this in the news. Okay, you won't hear about this from CNN or CBS or ABC. This is all information that has been essentially gathered from people who are asking the right kind of questions, who are going up to these people and trying to figure out what the purpose of all this is. You see, we've kind of been misled. Jade Helm was the precursor to all of this. They had to have their troops, they had to have their personnel in position so that whenever they did try to orchestrate gun confiscation or some of these no-knock raids or anything that has been authorized under the NDAA Act, they're in place. They don't have to do massive movement of equipment. Okay, what you're seeing right now is hyper-militarization. This is the military essentially putting forth all of its power to try to get across the idea of just that, of mastering the human domain. UWEX16, which is a continuation of this, is to further implement what has already been installed. And what has already been installed is the framework for these people to come in and do their quote-unquote unconventional warfare. That was actually labeled in the Jade Helm 15 documents. They considered what they were doing as unconventional. It was a military exercise of unconventional warfare. And we're seeing, like I said, the continuation of this into this year with UWEX16. Last year, I put out a post where I was talking about Windows 10 and Jade Helm 15 and how there's a connection somewhat online. I think it's very ironic how we saw Windows 10 being released right around the time that Jade Helm 15 was supposed to start. And if you know anything about the Windows 10 system, you can understand that it's very invasive. What they're trying to do is essentially create data hubs of all kinds of information from a unilateral system. I mean, they want to be able to have your email, they want to be able to have your Facebook, they want to be able to have your Twitter, they want to be able to have your photos, they want to be able to have your documents, they want to be able to have your VPN, they want to be able to have your terminals, they want to be able to have essentially unilateral collection of data, both meta and physical. What Jade Helm 15 and the Windows 10 software does is essentially digitize all of that information for you, or at least for the operators of this program, because the Jade Helm or the Jade software is actually an artificial intelligence piece of software, and what we're seeing whenever that's being enacted is the piece of software digesting the information so that it can be reproduced in an informative fashion. The Jade and Jade Helm 15 is an artificially intelligent quantum computing technology that is able to produce holographic battlefield simulations and has the ability to use vast amounts of data being collected on the human terrain to generate human terrain systems and geographic population centers to identify and eliminate targets, insurgents, rebels, or whatever labels that can be flagged as targets in a global information grid for network-centric warfare environments. So let me put that in perspective for you guys. What that pretty much translates into is they're trying to collect as much data, as much information, both political, digital, and even geographical, They want to get as much information as they can on every single individual. That's why the tagline for Jade Helm 15 is to master the human domain. They're using HTA, the human terrain analysis points, to try to get as much information about every single individual they can. How does this tie back into Windows 10? What is it doing? What is it offering? It's offering to hook up to your Xbox. It's offering to be free for every single different type of Windows computer out there. The point I'm trying to make is that they're trying to get unilateral coverage, unilateral surveillance of everything. And this was just with Jade Helm. We saw this being implemented, okay? We saw them starting there. Move forward to the idea of UWEX16. This has now evolved. I have some footage from Houston, Texas, where you can see some people of the local government actually validating and verifying that the unconventional warfares of 2016 is the continuation of Jade Helm 15, where this is what they've done before last year. They're just continuing it to this year. However, we all know it'll be multiplied what they try to do. But take a listen.
Item number 20, consider request from Tom Meade in the U.S. Special Operations Command to conduct realistic military training within Tom Green County for joint military exercises scheduled from March 6, 2016 through June 5th, 2016.
About to be coming out of the bunker again.
All right. Okay, I think it's very similar to what they requested last year. I believe they will be approaching the city of San Angelo also.
Coming into the city limits with a plan. Invading the city limits. That'll get that on the press.
All right, I'll read the letter. It's to USOC, the USA Special Operations Command out of Fort Bragg. So on behalf of Tom Green County, Texas, you and the men of the United States Special Operations Command are hereby cordially invited to conduct military training, unconventional warfare exercises. 16, it's designated as UWEX16 within our jurisdiction from March 10th through June 5th, 2016. I fully understand from Mr. Meade's presentation that this training will involve ground operations, which may include the use of helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. I fully understand and appreciate that this training has been coordinated through and approved by local law enforcement agencies and all affected property owners. Tom Green County is pleased to support the United States Special Operations Forces. They develop the techniques and tactics necessary to defend United States interests around the globe. Please do not hesitate to contact if I can be of further assistance. I don't see the sheriff is here. Is he? Do you know if he's briefed the sheriff on what they're doing? Okay. All right. This is the same style of letter of invitation that was sent last year. So
Very little impact last year that we had down there.
yeah, there was nothing to see. I was somewhat disappointed because there was nothing to witness during the whole thing. So
I had to get up at night and witness it, and that was very unconventional for me.
Inconvenient for you.
They carry on at night.
all right. What's y'all's pleasure, gentlemen?
I'll make the motion that we accept the request from the U.S. Special Forces Command to conduct realistic military training within the Tom Green County next year from March 6th to June 5th, 2016.
I'll second that.
Would you amend that via letter?
Yes, the letter from them.
Executed by the county judge.
Yes.
I'll amend my second to second that.
Okay. This is the first option. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Carries.
I don't know if they heard me. I don't I don't know if they heard me. I definitely said nay. But the point I'm trying to make is, look at how he said certain things. Last year, this is the same thing that we're doing. Oh, we're gonna have to get out of the bunker again. They operate at night. They're invading the city. These are all very vague statements, but broad at the same time. That lets us know that he's aware of what's going on. He's aware that this is happening inside of his own county. Sure, he might have not have said no. That might have endangered other people around him. He was trying to offer opposition. The point I'm trying to make is that we're making closer and closer steps towards a police state. Our government, Congress, Obama himself no longer abides by Congress. With things such as gun control, no-knock raids, seizures, forfeit asset seizure. Okay, all these crazy different things that are happening. Forced withdrawal of blood. What do you think the point of all of this is? It's to keep us inducted into fear so that we don't fight back, and that's the problem. Is because we've given up so much of ourselves, so much of our time, so much of our money, so much of our energy to this wicked system, to where they don't understand the common man. These people are aliens as far as I'm concerned. The point what I'm really trying to get across to you guys here is we're slipping into a Nazi totalitarian state. And this gun control, what we're seeing now, is only the beginning of it.
Y'all getting ready for martial law? Right.
So let me ask you a question. They say it's going to be the same thing as last year. So what? They're just going to take all this equipment and move it back somewhere else entirely different? They're not going to keep it where it is? Okay, that's for the public display. That's what they need for the public information. This is whenever they're going to start busting out the toys. This is whenever they're actually going to start using these things. This is whenever they're actually going to start executing more of these drills. Okay. Drones, helicopters, MRAPs, tanks, Humvees, all these things, there's a reason why they're out there. And they want to try to say this is normal. This is what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to have this display of military equipment, of military gear, of law enforcement. And I understand they're separate, but why are they having these things out? Why are they having this propagated in front of us and paraded? This is what it's like to live in a Nazi totalitarian state. UWEX16 is to get them ready for what they know is coming down the barrel. Already, we see things such as mass shootings happening. And yes, of course, a lot of them are staged. And then some of them create the ripple effects, which tell other people, you can do these things. And there's a reason why they keep them outside of the news. Okay, there's a reason why they put the huge stories in the limelight and not the little ones. You shine light on the idea that you're trying to get across, not the after effects. They're creating this whole air of fear so that whenever they conduct these types of no-knock raids and these types of operations and these things where they come in with their warrantless searches, they can be justified. And that's exactly what UWEX16 is. Now they have the information. Now they have the framework. They've built the foundation, and now they're going to expand with it. Quick fun fact for you guys. Psychopaths and sociopaths are incapable of feeling emotions. What you're seeing right now is Obama channel just that. Look at how crazy his eyes are.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad. And by the way, it happens on the streets of Chicago every day. So, all of us need to demand a Congress brave enough to stand up to the gun lobby's lies. All of us need to stand up and protect its citizens. All of us need to demand governor.
See, look, all right, here's what I have to say real quick about our loving and kind leader. There was no emotion behind that. Okay, you can really see that. You don't have to be a fool to see that. You're not a racist, like whatever. That was an act. That was seriously an act, and I don't really see how people can see that. What we're doing right now is we're taking more and more orders from a dictator. He implemented 8 different executive orders as far as what goes on for his national gun registry. That's right, only 8 of them, and I'm going to read off just a few of what goes on as far as his national gun registry. So single firearms transactions now have to be authorized by a registered dealer. I know that sounds pretty simple, that's commonplace. The point is to try to tax and document every single person who buys, sells, owns, or trades guns, to get them into a category, or at least to get them documented like illegal immigrants or anyone else, anything else that goes on here, to get that information of who is actually selling and doing what. Okay, that's just one. Social Security beneficiaries are now eligible for gun banning or confiscation, because now if you say for the fact that you're unable to deposit your check, or you prefer to have it automatically deposited, because that could label you as incompetent, that's one reason why they might not give you your gun, or why they might take your gun. Also, here's another one. Under this new Gun Control Act, doctors have the ability to report if you're a hazard. And you know what that means? That means doctor-patient confidentiality is right out the window. So if you ever feel like you have some kind of privacy, that's no longer there. If your doctor deems you as a hazard, or makes it seem as if you're some kind of threat to society, he can now be privy, or at least a helping hand in getting your gun taken away from you. Okay? And that's just a few of them, guys. That's how crazy this is. So how does this tie into UWEX16? What does this all mean? This gun control report has to be filed by May of 2016. Okay? UWEX16 starts March. Do you see how things are lining up here? We just had the whole Bundy in Oregon militia situation just there. And you see how they kicked off the year? They're planning on trying to stoke the fire, to give them a reason so that they can start moving ahead with their plans. With Jade Helm's 15, we already saw the hypermilitarization, the stockpiling of weapons, and the transferring of equipment. With UWEX16, I'm predicting, or at least I'm guesstimating, that we'll see more of it. We'll see expansion of these powers. We'll see more drones across the air. We'll hear more planes going across. Okay? I don't think we'll necessarily see as many different vehicles. If anything, we'll see more plainclothes soldiers, or at least plainclothes operatives. A more stealthy version, because physical things are no longer needed. We're moving towards the age of digitizing every single thing. Okay, and that's what the unconventional aspect of it is, and people are really trying. People don't seem to get that. There's a backdoor to everything, and they're trying to go unconventional with what they're doing. So we'll see how this plays out. That's all the information I have for you guys right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you have any questions, my email will be there as well. And as always, guys, stay vigilant and expose lies, share truth. This is Freedom Faction, out.